sitting with my wife and being like, I think JR just insulted the sponsor of whoever's putting this thing on.
I didn't handle it well.
But did they fire you for that?
Pretty much.
They did.
Hey, Sam, I took responsibility for that. There's a lot of stories about that deal.
Yeah.
The story going around that I was working all day at Axxess, and as the day goes on, if you're a Bell's palsy victim, or whatever the word is, sufferer, your facial, as the day goes on and fatigue sets in, you're a lot more prone to slur. Your facial muscles are not what they were.
Yeah.
Fatigue doesn't do me any favors in that regard.
And I remember you starting that night saying, if you think I'm scowling, right, I have Bell's palsy.
Right.
I'm actually a very happy guy.
I am, yeah. Right. And that's true. So I was slurring a little bit that night out of fatigue, but it happens every night. I mean, I get angry sometimes with my wife because I'll have a long day and I'll say something to her and she'll say, what?
Right.
And I said, did you not hear me or did you not understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And, honey, I didn't understand you. Well, that's a Bell's palsy issue. Then I had to apologize for being a dick. Are you paying attention or not?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't understand you because you were slurring.
Oh, sorry.
So I say, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. So I was slurring, but the rumor going around that I was drinking with Ric Flair all afternoon and that I was drunk on the air and all that was so wrong. And
right.
So erroneous.
So you weren't drunk?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
You wouldn't have done
I had one cocktail before we went out.
Yeah, and I guess that is what did you in, because I think you made some reference to...
Grey Goose?
Yeah, but it was almost like, we're being social here, we're relaxed.
Exactly.
Having a drink.
Well,
and then it turned into...
I admit it, I had a cocktail.
Right.
In the green room.
Mm-hmm.
But Rick, unfortunately, had been drinking most of the afternoon.
Does it bug you that Rick is back on TV? You don't care.
Part of the business. It's part of the business. I don't live in a... Rick's back on TV. Rick is going... People have to understand, and I mention this to everybody that would listen. They're bringing him to Los Angeles right after he found his son dead of a heroin overdose.
Yes.
He's been drinking a lot. He's in a very tough spot. No one should find their son in the hotel room next to yours dead, or anywhere else for that matter. Yeah. And then find out that he died of a heroin overdose. Pretty damn hard to handle.
Horrible.
And Rick was still processing all that. Probably needed to have extensive grief counseling before he ever got back into the public arena. And then you'll hear some say, they'll be an amateur psychologist say, well, it'd be good for him to be around his friends. It'd be good for him to be, it'd be a good diversion.
Yeah.
So we saw that worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't try to analyze it yea or nay. I just think that the guy probably should have had some professional grief counseling, but I'm not angry at him. I'm glad if him being back in WWE helps WWE and helps Rick, then that's a win-win for me, because it's nothing to me anymore in that regard.
Were you surprised that that event had that kind of reaction?
Yeah. The sponsors, 2K Sports, were ecstatic. When the thing was over, they said, man, that was awesome.
Yeah. And
we had so many hits on that panel that it blew up the servers. Mm-hmm. They had never had the success of the viewers that they ever had. And, I kept saying, okay, here's what we need to have. We have this panel. We had no rehearsal. We had no walkthrough. I had no IFB. We had no production meeting. And I'm going out there on this little island, and I should have been better than I was. So I dropped the ball, and I should have handled it a little bit better. And